Hi guys, it's Paul here. Me and Luke just finished recording this week's podcast. Unfortunately, at the end of it, we realised there was a couple of issues with the recording. So unfortunately, there's no video this week, so you don't get to look at us. It's an audio-only podcast this week. We had a slight bit of corruption with the audio at the beginning, literally just the introduction. So I've chopped that bit off, and it goes pretty much straight into Luke just asking me what I thought of the Palace game. And it's pretty much fine from then on. Wanted to put this out anyway, even though it's just audio, because it was a really good show this week. Some really good topics covered. So yeah, hopefully you guys still enjoy it.
I've said all I need to say about Palace, mate. In my review, I'd love to know your thoughts, mate. Palace, mate.
Yeah, I mean, first half we were great. Well, I say we were great. We weren't great. First half we were fine. First half, you know, we did the job we needed to do.
We went
two very good goals. Very good goals. The first goal was very well worked. The second goal was a moment of brilliance from Ayew. Great to see him showing the player that we thought we were getting.
Yeah.
Which is good. But then, second half, we did what we do so often and try and sit on a lead, and it all goes wrong. Yes, you could say, oh, it's down to individual errors. Ogbonna made a mistake giving away the penalty, and then Antonio at the end made a mistake. But we deserved to lose that game.
No, I agree, mate.
Like, we literally spent the last 45 minutes sitting back, doing nothing. We didn't attack, we did nothing. We just tried to take the pressure. And if you invite that much pressure, eventually something's going to crack. Whether it is a stupid penalty given away, whether it is, you know, like if Joe Hart hadn't made the saves that he made, we would have lost that game about 4-2. You know, it's we deserved nothing from that match. Nothing at all. And we're lucky we got a point.
But from a worldie from Joe Hart, that could have been a completely different game.
Oh, yeah.
Like I say, some positives. Hernandez's goal was fantastic as well. I know you said Ayew's goal was fantastic, but I think you've got to give a lot of credit to Hernandez.
Very well worked.
The book finish. Lanzini, excellent. But again, it's just we're gonna have to refer back to the Spurs game, because we've not actually spoke about the Spurs game as well since we've done a show. Obviously, the Spurs game, fantastic result. You know, 3-2 coming from 2-0 down, but that second 45 minutes needed to be the benchmark for the rest of the season. But did you see any of that in the Crystal Palace game?
No. And we said it all in the podcast before the Spurs game. We said it, you know, I said it. I was saying all week we were going to win that game, and I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure I did say we were going to win 3-2. But as I said at the time, you know, we always up our game. Form goes out the window in that match. I know you can't just write it off and say, oh, that game doesn't count, because obviously it does, but it is different. You know, we need to reproduce that kind of effort in the league, and we're just not doing it.
Yeah. No, mate, I've been saying it all week in work, and I think I said it on the Palace review. Listen, whenever we beat Tottenham, it's incredible. Yeah, I love it. But I am starting, as I grow up, getting a bit bored of that. Bored of seeing the players putting that sort of level of performance only for them to go and do that against Palace. Like, anyone can get up for the Tottenham game. It's a big game. They're a big team now. But where is that against your bread and butters, your Stokes, Palaces, your Brightons, your Huddersfields? It's a joke. They need to seriously question themselves. And a lot of people, I think I put a tweet out actually during the Palace game saying, if Slav can't get these players up, what's wrong? And they're like, oh, well, you need to blame the players on the pitch. Yes, you do. But Slav is the hype man as well. Slav is just as blamed as the players that are on the pitch.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And I see a lot of people as well saying, oh, you can't blame Slav for the individual mistakes. You can't blame Slav. Like, Slav never told Ogbonna to push someone over in the box. Slav never told Antonio to kick the ball at their goalkeeper in the 97th minute. But Slav did obviously tell him to go out and try and sit on a lead for 45 minutes. Yeah. He obviously did go out with that game plan to invite that pressure on, you know? And like you say, mate, you're right. It comes down to a confidence thing. And that's the manager's job, is to instill confidence in the side. It's his job to get the team up and to get them playing confident. And it's his job to drill out silly mistakes. That's what they should be doing in the training ground. That's basics. You
How
know,
many times do we concede, mate? Crucial times as well. 44th minute, 51st minute, 97th minute. You know what I mean? Or first minute. How many
yeah.
times do we concede crucial as well?
It's because we're not switched on or we switch off. You know, and it's concentration.
And the fitness as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. If the players are not fit, which they just don't, they don't seem like they've been fit for the last 2 years. But if the players are not fit, you know, tired bodies, tired minds, they're going to make more mistakes.
I was going to use that exact cliche, mate. I use it with the kids in school that I teach. Healthy body, healthy minds. It's true. It's true. Obviously, picked up a few injuries as well, and obviously Zabaleta suspended for the Liverpool game. Not great. Font looks like he's got a bit of an injury as well. Winston Reid obviously carrying as well. Before we talk about the Liverpool game, it's not looking good defensively, mate.
No.
Declan Rice come in. I don't know. He was a bit out of sorts with the Zaha goal as well. Again, I think someone should have chopped Zaha. I know it was Antonio's fault for doing what he did up there, but come on, someone just got to go through him like that.
Yeah, even then, I mean, when he got to the box, there was still, what, 2 or 3 players between him and the goal?
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been able to score from that position. He shouldn't have been able to score, but he did. Yeah, Rice didn't really get close enough to make a tackle, but yeah, no. I mean, who is actually fit? Who's out? So I saw Collins, Font,
Ginger's out, isn't he?
Reid could all be out. So is Ogbonna?
Could be Ogbonna Rice.
Ogbonna Rice.
Kiati.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously Zabaleta's suspended.
So
one more thing on the Palace game, mate, just before we move on and talk more about the defence. Byram have come on for Zabaleta instead of Antonio.
he could have done, yeah. I was going to say, I don't think bringing Antonio on was necessarily a bad substitution, depending on how fit he was. You know, Antonio still don't look fit, or to be honest, he don't look fit and he don't look bothered at the minute. We all know he pretty much publicly fell out with Slav over the whole right back thing. So, I mean, is he a player that you want to rely on when Slav's fighting for his job? Probably not.
Just on Antonio, last thing, mate. Scotty from West Ham Fan TV, really smart guy, said, do you think Antonio, since he's been in the England team, has turned into a slight big-time Charlie a bit with it? Like his performances have sort of gone a little bit lacklustre since that England sort of cap.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent, it's a fair opinion. You definitely could say possibly. I just feel like the motivation is not there in the team in a minute. Not just from Antonio, from the whole team, from everyone. There's not, like, you know, how many times we said like that you've got players that are, and there's not enough of them in the team at the minute, but you've got players that are born winners like Zabaleta. When he's on that pitch, you can tell he cares. He wants to win every game, and it hurts him when he loses because he's not used to it.
Like that as well, mate. Lanzini and Hernandez.
Yeah, Hernandez as well. And like but to me, apart from those players that have got that are used to winning, they're used to being in winning teams, I don't think the rest have got that desire. They just don't seem to have that motivation at the minute. They really don't. They really don't.
Yeah. Before we talk about the Liverpool game, mate, we said we'd talk about Slav. Right, he was given 2 games, 1-1, drew 1. Now, if I would have said that to you before both of the games, would you have took the win and the draw?
Yeah.
Yeah. But now the win and the draw has happened. What do you think?
It's a really horrible one, isn't it? Because it's a win and a draw. See, this just goes to show how stupid the whole 2 games to save his job is. So if he lost both the games, all right, sack him. If he wins both the games, brilliant. But what now? What, does he get another 2 games to see what happens now?
Well, if we lose to Liverpool, which we could do, let's look at it. Liverpool should be looking to beat team like us. What then?
Yeah.
Do you know, if we get really tucked in 3-4s like we did last year against Liverpool, what then?
It's difficult. I think if they're going to sack him and we do get turned over by Liverpool, that's the time to do it, because obviously they've got an international break to try and get somebody else in. if we do get tanked by Liverpool and they don't sack him, we've got an absolute nightmare run of fixtures.
Oh yeah,
coming up.
What I would say as well, mate, is I'd like someone in, if they're going to sack him, this is all ifs, by December. So a new manager gets a month, and quite a busy month, to look at the players, look at what he thinks, then in January can go and buy.
Yeah. That's what you'd like to think would happen. If you're of the opinion that the board are tight and they don't want to spend any money, then you'd be thinking that's exactly what they don't want to do. Because they're not going to want to give a new manager money to spend in January. So will they just draw it out as long as they can? I don't know. It's really difficult. I think we've gone past the point now where yes, we've been saying it for weeks now. He has to go. He has to go. The writing's on the wall. He's a dead man walking. Whatever happens, he's not going to get a new contract. It's time. It's time. He has to go.
What do you see then, mate? Obviously, Lee, for anyone who's not seen Lee on the show, he's one of obviously presenters of the show. He said today, when he gives a little message, said that all he sees under Slav now is relegation, the longer it carries on.
Mm. Yeah, and if you look at our form, he's right. We've got the form of a relegation team all over us. As we were saying a minute ago, I don't think this team's got the fight in them to get out of it.
It's got Grant vibe this season. Really has.
I think a lot of the players will know that they can go off to other clubs anyway if we go down. There's no real affiliation for West Ham or most of the players. I don't think they care. You know, they don't seem to be really fighting to keep Slav in a job. You know, I don't think that squad has got the fight to get out of a relegation battle. I really don't. And I agree. If we carry on how we are, there's only going to be one outcome. There really is. You can't even say there's 3 worse teams than us in the league at the minute, because there ain't.
Well, Everton, 3, yeah, I agree with not 3, but I'd say Everton are probably worse than us. But if Everton do get in the old boy Big Sam, they're going to be safe. No matter what happens, that they will be safe. They guarantee safety if they get that man in. And I'm really that game I'm looking at, and that's a game I'm really, really nervous for, that Everton game. Now that could be a huge game for us. I think it's about 3-4 weeks time, that game. Yeah. So what do you think, mate? Do you think he's going to last the season, or do you think their hand will be forced?
I don't know. I think unless it looks like we are really in danger and we're going down, which could be the end of December, to be honest, that run of fixtures we've got, then they're going to have to pull the trigger, because we can't afford relegation.
What happens if we do go down? I think we're going to be a joke club.
I think if we do go down, I think we'll be in massive trouble.
Who's staying?
That's it. You know, we'll have the biggest stadium in the Championship. We'll probably have realistically 25,000 turn up each week.
Yeah.
You know, make 20, 25. See, the thing is, a lot of the hardcore support that they had have now walked away because of the old Olympic Stadium thing. So maybe even less than that. You know, a lot of the people that are coming for the Olympic Stadium, a lot of the new fans, if we get relegated, they're not going to stick around. They're not going to renew.
They don't care.
Do you know what I mean? So you're talking what? So we could end up with 20,000 people in a 60,000 seater stadium in the Championship. It'll be an absolute disaster. You know, you think it's tough to play over there at the minute. Oh, the fans are too far away at the pitch. Imagine when there's nobody in there and the fans are that far away from the pitch. It's going to be a nightmare. Most of our good players will go. Lanzini gone, Hernandez gone. You know, I think if we do get relegated, it will be an absolute disaster.
Yeah, mate, I can see a bit of a Leeds and a Sunderland sort of thing. Just following on from that, mate, Jamie Carragher come out and said it, and he said that this current West Ham team reminds him of the QPR of a couple of years ago, the Sunderland of a couple of years ago. Even as I think one of the hardcore West Ham fans like we are, mate, there is some truth in that. It's sad. It's very sad. It
is. It's like I say, the players don't seem to be up for it. the manager just looks lost. He looks like, you know, he's the. You look at Slav when he first joined West Ham, and you look at his interviews, and like he was all sort of cheeky and like having laughs and jokes, and he was quite bubbly. Do you know what I mean? He still mumbled a bit, but he was quite. Oh yeah, look at this guy, and he had character. He had proper character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like that. He had that sort of young Mourinho, young
Poch. That
like,
there was like proper character there, and all the pundits were talking about it. Like, oh, Slav, brilliant, brilliant manager to watch. Great to see his interviews. Look at him now; he's a broken man, and that's not the demeanour as someone that's like. You watch him do his interviews on Match of the Day on Sky now, and he just looks broken, and he's just mumbling and quiet. And yes, you know, and what is he doing? His team talks like that as well. Do you know what I mean? It's.
I don't know if we discussed it or not. I can't remember, mate. Apparently, I don't think we have actually. So apparently, after the Brighton game, he did offer to give his resignation in and told the players he's going, but the board didn't accept it because they was a bit worried whether they'd get a caretaker manager in. Blah 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 blah. Should they have just accepted it?
See, I can understand one point that came up, which I actually didn't think about at first, but it is a really good point. Is the fact that if they let him go, there's no one that can step in from the current backroom staff because they're all Slav's mates. It's completely Slav's backroom staff at the minute.
What,
so
not Terry Wesley to step in for 2 games.
But then who's going to run training? Who's going to? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is he going to do it on his own?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. If all the training staff are going to go with Slav, they don't need to just replace the manager. They need to replace the whole backroom team.
Yeah.
And they've kind of shot himself in the foot there, because like you say, yeah, it's all right saying, all right, Terry Wesley can come in and, you know, manage the squad for a couple of games, but is he gonna run the training? Is he gonna do everything? Is he gonna? Do you know what I mean? He can't do everything himself.
I agree. I think Terry Wesley could do a job, but I didn't actually look at it beyond that, because obviously if Slav goes, it's a bit like when you sack Sam Allardyce, all that team goes with him. Yeah.
So it's a difficult one. So I can understand why they said no, but even then, it's just the atmosphere that it creates. You know, obviously that filters out. The players know, oh right, he give up. The players now know Slav gave up. He offered his resignation. He was like, I can't do this job. So what motivation is that giving to the players?
I don't know as well, mate. Again, this is bold blame as well here. I'm going to blame. Do you know any other club, mate, where it leaks 2 games? Oh, got 5 games. Have you ever heard that come out of any other club?
No, and it is ridiculous. And I've been saying all season and all summer, I was saying, back him, give him a new contract or sack him. You can't just run the contract down and then, like you say, you get into this, 2 games to save his job, 3 games to save his job. Yeah, no, you're right, mate. Slag the ball for that, 100%. Because it is wrong. They're just poorly managing the situation, and they've got themselves into a situation now where they can't really do anything. They can't necessarily sack him, but they don't really want to keep him. And
the thing with it as well, mate, but again, we like to know what's going on in our club, but with the fans knowing that knowledge, Slav's got 2 games, the intense pressure then in the stadium on the players to perform. Obviously, mate, I'm guilty of it, mate, when I'm there. Get him out, sack him and all this. But that's because I know he's got 2 games. Where if it just said, they said nothing. And it's like, if he's gone in 2 games' time, okay. But having that sort of not knowing, will he go, won't he go? Has he, like we're in now, has he done enough? Don't know. Yeah. Clearly he has, because he hasn't been sacked. But in some opinions, they would say, no, he's not done enough.
I know. I know, mate. You're right. No, you're right. I make you right. It's just poor. It's poor management all round. The team's not being managed properly. The club is not being managed properly at a board level. It's a shambles at the minute. It really is. It really is. And like you say, mate, it's got relegation written all over it at the minute. We need even just for that initial bounce. We need something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To lift the club and to lift the players and to do... Because at the minute, the atmosphere is just poison. It's just poison.
Would you take... it's a question later on, but they didn't actually mention his name. Would you take Sam?
No.
No, not at all. Not even if you're like sitting bottom in January, and
mate,
you know you
genuinely,
just for 6 months,
mate, 100% genuine and on art, mate. I would literally rather Slav take us down and we turn into Leeds. Genuinely, mate, seriously.
Not for
I would
6 months to save us.
No.
Like, not permanent. It's just a caretaker firefighter job.
No.
Okay.
No, I could not. I've got to watch my language because I'll go off on one. No, I would not have him back at the club. No.
Okay. I'll be honest. I would take him back as a caretaker, as a firefighter. That is it. No permanent in it. It would literally be to come in, to get us safe, go. Give him a
mate,
million.
It'd probably come in and relegate us just for a laugh.
Yeah, who knows, mate? Who knows?
No, I'd controversially though, I have said before, I would take Redknapp back as a caretaker. I would take Pardew all day long. I'd take Pardew back as a caretaker, but no, not Sam. No.
Okay, cool. Right, so looking ahead, mate, we usually always do this at the beginning of a month. Preview the month ahead. It's a bit of a mixed month, I would say. We've got obviously Liverpool on Saturday, which we'll go into a little bit more in a minute. And then it's Watford, Leicester and Everton. So Watford, good side, only really lost to some big teams, this year. Marco Silva, one of our favourites on this channel, someone I would absolutely love to be West Ham manager if we were to stay up. I don't fancy us against them at all.
No, I don't. I think they'll come out and they'll be well up for it. They're playing really well this year. Yeah, is that home or away?
I think it was away, mate. I think it's away.
No, I can't see us getting anything from that, unfortunately.
Yeah, and obviously Leicester again. They're another little touch and go sort of team at the minute, sort of trying to find their feet. But obviously, new manager, new bit of belief in there. I don't fancy us against them either. It's
a game I'd say that we'd have a chance with a couple of weeks ago, but now, like you say, new managers come in. I don't know.
And then, obviously, end of the month, Everton, and by then, mate, it would not surprise me if that's Big Sam's first game for them. Lots of rumours that Big Sam is going there. Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if they beat us, mate. No.
It wouldn't surprise me if anyone beat us, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me if we didn't pick up any more points until 2018. It genuinely wouldn't. It honestly wouldn't. But then you guarantee we're going to go out on Saturday and we'll probably beat Liverpool 4-0. That's just the way West Ham is. It's ridiculous.
I don't even want to put a points total on what I'd like to see this month, mate. I think 4 to 6 would be good.
I think that's where the board are going to be. I think they're going to be saying, right, 4 to 6 points.
Yeah. So, Liverpool, mate. That is the next game. They've got their problems, though, mate. Looking into it, obviously, I'll go more into it into my preview. Obviously, Coutinho's out. Mane's out. Defence is not great. But there's a young man, not so young anymore, Daniel Sturridge, who absolutely loves scoring against West Ham.
Started to find his form a bit as well.
Yeah. They can be got at.
They can. I mean, they can. Do you know what worries me, though, is they need a result. They need a big result.
Yeah, they're not great form either, to be fair.
They're not. They need a big result, and I can see Klopp eyeing this fixture as the one, right, we're going to go out and we're going to absolutely spank these. It is another one, though. Like, we've got really good recent form against Liverpool.
Apart from the home game. Where we got
but, still really good recent form, So it is another one of them games where anything could happen. And it is, again, it's a big club, so the players would be a bit more up for it. I have to say, I am usually very optimistic. Like I said, I was saying a week we were going to beat Tottenham, and we did. But, no, I can't see anything but a loss. And I can genuinely see us shipping sort of 3-4 goals easy.
What sort of lineup would you like to see, mate? Obviously, let's take into account no Reed, no Collins, no Font.
Well, so the back three. If we play a back three, that pretty much picks itself.
Yeah, Rice, Kiati.
Yeah.
Obviously, Byram has to come in.
Yeah, if Byram comes in at right wing back.
Suspended.
Masuaku or Cresswell?
I don't know, mate. I've been quite impressed with Cresswell again.
Yeah,
recently.
he's looked a lot
putting
better.
The balls back in again now.
He's still scared to tackle, but he's looked better. He has looked better. He's looked better.
Yeah, it seems to be like not thinking. Like when he puts a cross in, it's just like boom in. I really did like Hernandez and Ayew up front. I think their sort of pace could give Liverpool some trouble. But again, he'll probably go back to Andy Carroll up top. Listen, there is a place for Andy Carroll. Andy Carroll should have come on as well in the Palace game for defensive duties because he can do a shift.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
I said it in the review of Palace. I've stepped back a bit from the Noble. I have to say, at the moment, he is the sort of player we need in there.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm not saying he's the best player in the world, but you know, it's just doing that basic stuff. Yeah, I know I've criticised backwards passing and stuff, but at the moment we do need just that sort of play at the minute. Nice, safe, not too exuberant.
Yeah, and he's a player who does have fight in him, and he's a player who does have passion in him, and a player who does care about the club and wants to see us get out of it. You saw at the end of the game. I don't know if you saw yourself, mate.
Yeah, when his head went, yeah.
He completely lost it, and apparently it was about Kabaya because Kabaya wouldn't shake his hand. But then at the same time, if you watch what he was actually saying, he was screaming about Antonio, saying how stupid he was, just keep it in the corner, you know, like. But to see him have that passion, I think he was the only West Ham player left on the pitch at that point. Everyone else had already buggered off, you know. So yeah, 100%. I think he needs to be in the team. He is our captain.
Yeah, the man behind you, mate, Lanzini, obviously has to play. You know, he's the only bit of magic in there. I've got to say, I wasn't impressed with Fernandez in the Palace game.
First game back, was it, or second game?
Yeah,
first start, wasn't it?
A little bit off the pace a bit. I agree with you, mate. First game back, but I don't know. I wouldn't put him in. I'd go Obiang, bring Obiang back in. Again, he's another one been off the pace a little bit though. Himself, they've all been a bit off the pace. That midfield, that is a big problem. We haven't got a midfield at the minute. Your mate, obviously Sacco. I honestly agree with you now, mate. I do not think that guy will ever play for West Ham again. I think the geezer, and I'm gonna say it, I think he's an absolute arsehole. The bloke, you know, like he's just nah. I don't ever want to see that guy play for West Ham again. Finally,
mate, you've got to where I was 6 months ago.
Listen, look, I was there, I was angry, but I thought, you know what, if you've got an asset there, use him. That was my view, was, listen, we're paying you, get on the pitch and play. But now, all this like, oh, I want to be good in France, and then shut up. Do you know what I mean? But what really frustrates me, mate, is what the hell does this guy, Tony Martinez, need to do to get on the bench? He scored another 2 last night in the Cup. I think it was against Bristol. He scored against Manchester United. He scored against Chelsea. I know it's under 23, but he cannot do any worse than who's playing.
Yeah. No, you're right, mate. Although he 100% deserves a spot on the bench. Obviously, Ayew's in great form at the minute. Hernandez is always going to be in front of him, as is Carroll. So he's not going to be in the team at the minute. But no, you're right, mate. He does deserve a spot on the bench, I think, yeah.
What my fear is with it, and this is why I would like him protected, at the moment, okay, world-class striker in Hernandez, obviously Carroll, world-class on his day. No service to them boys at all. And they get like a little bit of criticism, like, oh, well, Hernandez ain't really done anything and Carroll ain't really done anything. I don't want Tony Martinez put in and then they go, oh, well, we ain't scored for 3 games. But no consideration to he's had no service for 3 games. That's my only fear. Yeah.
Mate, I think whether we save him for next season or whatever, I think that's going to happen regardless. West Ham fans are very, very quick to judge. They either like you or they don't. And if they don't, they'll write you off quick. It's a shame. But no, I agree.
I definitely would like to see him get some bench action at least. You know what I mean? Something different. Like, that's another lift for fans as well, seeing a young kid come on.
Yeah. No, I agree. 100%, mate. I agree.
Predictions for Liverpool, mate, before we move on to the questions.
Like I say, I think I can easily see us, I reckon we'll concede 3 or 4. Hopefully we'll score. At least.
Due one. Lanzini's due one.
Yeah, maybe a free kick or something. I don't know. I'm gonna be a real. I hate doing it. I hate being a pessimist. But I could see us really getting turned over. I'm gonna say 4-1 to them, and I really hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong.
I can see 3-1 if it's a really bad day for us. But sometimes, if I'm looking optimistically, sometimes when you put in your new players, they've got a chance to prove themselves. Rice, people like that, Byram, you might get a nice, good performance out of them because they think, do you know what, it's my opportunity to show myself. But at the moment, mate, as we've argued all show, none of them players look like they want it anyway. Even the fringe players when they come on. And that's really bad when it's like you're coming off the bench, you're not even a starter, and you're not coming on with any energy. For me. Okay, I keep doing that sign. People taking the mickey out of me in work when watching the videos. Right, let's do some questions. Ken Oldfield. If Hart decides to move on and we let Adrian go, who will our goalkeeper be? Who knows?
Who knows, mate? Yeah, exactly. Who knows? It's not going to be... knowing our lot... Well, first of all, I think they'll definitely take the option on Hart, as long as he wants to stay with the club.
And we don't get relegated.
Yeah. If we lost both goalkeepers, by the way, I have to say, because we haven't done a show since the Tottenham game, Adrian, fantastic.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Fantastic. Great to see him back on the pitch. Great to see that passion again, like running to celebrate the goal and stuff. Brilliant. Yeah, loved seeing Adrian back on the pitch. But if we did lose both of them, I think they'll end up going and picking out either another goalkeeper from the Championship or, maybe another goalkeeper from Spain or something like that. I don't think it'd be anyone. I don't think it'd be a named goalkeeper, put it that way.
No, I don't think so. Paul McMahon. If/when Slav goes, because I think he might after a loss to Liverpool on Saturday, would you take either Paolo or Ronald Koeman? Sometimes it doesn't happen at certain clubs, but I'd definitely take Koeman.
I would take Koeman as well, yeah. Definitely, I'd take Koeman. I think he's a good manager. Paolo is a head and heart thing. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Paolo, mate, is my hero, but...
Paolo, I would love nothing more than to see Paolo back involved at West Ham. I would absolutely love it. It would be. Can you imagine Paolo as manager? And like, if people think that Slav gets an easy ride from the fans most times, mate, imagine Paolo. Like the ball. That's probably why the ball would never give him the job, because they wouldn't have that scapegoat. They wouldn't have that shield. No one would blame Paolo for anything, and he's obviously completely outspoken. There's no way they'd be able to control him. He's definitely not a yes man. But on the flip side,
even if you don't have him as a manager, I would love him to come in as a first team coach or something like that. Because some of these young boys that are at the club, like there are some young boys that support West Ham. That imagine turning up and Paolo's there. Like I know what I'd be like, mate, if I was a 17-year-old kid and Paolo Di Canio was teaching me.
Oh yeah, I think he'd be a fantastic coach. Obviously, when he was at the club and like he was all about fitness and eating right and training right, and again another player with that winner's mentality that he wants to be the best, and I think he'd be a fantastic coach. Manager, it doesn't seem to have worked out for him so far, so I don't think he's going to be West Ham manager anytime soon. But would I love to see him back at the club? 100%. 100%.
On Ronald Koeman for me, yeah, I would take Ronald Koeman. Listen, at Everton, he had a good first season. There's apparently some rumours that the club were a bit nervous about his record in Europe. But listen, the biggest mistake Everton made is they sold Romelu Lukaku 35 goals and bought in none. And they bought in 3 number 10s in Sigurdsson, Rooney, and do you know what I mean? Like, and obviously Barkley as well. There's all that, but I don't know whether Koeman will succeed with another poisonous board. Who knows? For me, SB says how on a scale of 1 to 10, how how much in the brown are we at the moment?
Well, the league is still quite close. So, I mean, it's still easy enough to climb out of it. But at the same time, it's very easy to drop in. I'd say, I don't think it's panic. It's not panic stations yet.
I'd say 6.
Yeah, I'd say 6 is fair. It's not panic stations yet. We're not like 8s and 9s.
2 losses,
it's not that.
it might be 8.
Yeah, it's not that bad. In a couple of weeks, maybe. But yeah, I think 6 is fair. It's one that we could easily climb out of, but we could very easily get dragged right in.
2 wins, you're right there. 2 losses, and the team above you win, you're right in it.
Yeah.
That's the problem at the minute. Rory, do you think if Slav spent less time writing lyrics for his band, you'd be in a better position in the league this season?
Well, maybe he's better at that than he is managing the team.
Better playing guitar, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you should break the guitar out on the sidelines. You know, give the fans some entertainment.
Yeah. Jack, F off Sacco and bring in Martinez. Do you agree? Well, sort of discussed that just about 5-10 minutes ago. Yeah, I would. Goodbye, Sacco, mate. See you later.
Been saying bye for a long time. Bye, Sacco. Bye bye.
Yeah. That's what. Before I carry on, mate, that's what I'm very nervous about. Of who would come to the club at the moment, though. That is a problem. Is William Carvalho coming in January? I don't think so.
We won't pay for him anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't think they'll make any big signings in January. I really don't.
Be coming. I don't think Jack Wilshere will come either.
I don't think we'll see any significant movement in January unless a new manager comes in.
Yeah. Robbo. Sorry, Billy. Would you have Kevin Nolan as an interim manager? Not even thought about it personally, but it just popped in my mind as he's doing a good job at Notts County, and he is doing a good job, mate. He's doing a fantastic job down there.
A lot of people have been speaking about it.
I've considered it, mate. I'll be honest. Maybe not ready yet, but definitely in a couple of years, I think if he carries on, you know, he might have a bit of a shout.
I agree, 100%. He's definitely not ready at the minute. Definitely not ready for a Premier League club at the minute. But you know, I've always said, whatever you thought about Nolan as a player, and in his day he was a great player.
No, he was.
And when he first signed for us, he was a good player, and his legs ended up going. That's not his fault, but he was a fantastic captain. Fantastic captain.
I imagine he's a fantastic man manager as well.
Yeah, and you know, I reckon he's got a very bright future. And I like Nolan a lot. I really do. I know he got slated massively, and at the time, you know, I was one saying he shouldn't be on the pitch, but there weren't nothing against him himself, and it weren't even his fault. It was Sam picking him, but his legs went. But I like Nolan a lot, and I think he was a fantastic captain for us.
Yeah, it seemed like a great guy to have around the dressing room.
And yeah, he's not ready. He's not ready for a Premiership team in a minute, but definitely I reckon he'll be heading to the Premiership in the future.
Definitely. Ian, do you think we are more susceptible to conceding goals when Font plays, keeps going AWOL and leaving teammates open?
I'd be interested to see the actual stats. I don't think it matters.
At the minute, mate,
I don't think it matters who plays at the minute, to be honest. They're all prone to an error, and we've been conceding goals no matter who's been playing. To be honest, the player who's probably got the best record at the minute is Collins.
Yeah. This was a point from West Ham Fan TV, mate, and I do agree with it as well. They made the point of, it was either West Ham Fan TV or Hammers Chat, I can't remember, saying that we keep resorting back to this Collins and Noble. Collins is now 34, I think. Noble's 30. Can't keep doing this. We need to, like, sort of from next season onwards, need to find that new backup plan. Can't keep going, we bring Ginge in because he's passionate. I love Ginge. But we can't keep doing that, can we? No,
we can't keep doing it forever. No, you're right. Again, that comes down to there's not really any youth been coming through. I mean, the experienced players that have been at the club a long time. I mean, obviously Reed has been at the club a long time now. But yeah, I don't know. He's not the same type of player. He's a passionate guy, but he's not the same. Do you know what I mean? He's not the same. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one.
Ian again. Are there rules on emergency loans in the Premier League? Without injury crisis, couldn't we recall Reece Burke as he's not been playing?
As far as I know,
it's only goalkeepers.
it's goalkeepers only. Yeah. So no, unfortunately, unless we loan in a goalkeeper and stick him in defence. Yeah. No, unfortunately not, mate.
No. Hammerhead. Any news on us buying the bowl? Any movement on seating nearer the pitch?
Seating nearer the pitch, mate. Forget about it.
Yeah, it's not happening.
It's not happening. Forget about it. Unless they completely rebuild the stadium, that's as close as they're ever going to get. As far as us owning it, obviously, recently there's been a lot of news that the company that's in charge of managing the stadium are very close to going into administration. Because then, as we all know, as was obvious, it's not a profitable business. The fact that it takes so much money to convert the stadium to athletics, that basically wipes out their entire profit completely. You know, it's not running at a profit whatsoever. And a lot of people in the know on the forums and the people that were really looking into this kind of thing, they predicted this 2 years ago, that this was going to happen. They predicted that this exact situation was going to happen, that it wasn't profitable, they were going to run out of money, and eventually the council was going to say, we need to get rid of this stadium. We can't afford to keep running it. It's just costing us money, which is where potentially West Ham comes in. Sorry, it's potentially where West Ham comes in and buys the stadium cheap. But whether it'll happen or not, I don't know. Whether it'll happen under these owners, again, I don't know. I think that's where you'd see possibly, if we do get a big offer in for the club, then the stadium might become a part of that. I don't know. But I'd say there's definitely movement towards it. Definitely, yeah.
2 more questions. Tony, if we lose to Liverpool, do you think Bilic will be sacked? No, I'll be honest. No.
I don't know. Apparently, Hugh Southern, who pretty much is, a lot of people would call him Sullivan's mouthpiece, has said recently that originally they had no intention of sacking him before the end of the season, but now they've started to come around to the fact that they might have to. So I don't know. I mean, there's noises coming out. I think if we lose badly to Liverpool and they don't sack him during that international break, he'll be here till the end of the season.
I think the fans will make some noise as well if we get really badly beat on Saturday. Last question, Mickey Smith from YouTube. Thanks, mate, for commenting on the videos. Hypothetical question for you: would you take us being relegated if this meant a change in ownership?
See, this kind of comes back.
Everyone wants to see us get relegated, but
this kind of comes back to what we were saying earlier about what could potentially happen to the club if we get relegated. If we do get relegated, I mean, how long term of a plan do you want to get back? Do you know what I mean? Like, here's a question for you, mate. Thanks for asking the question. If we got relegated and we changed the owners, but we then wouldn't be able to get back up to the Premier League, let's say it took another 10 years, would you be happy with that?
No, not at all, mate.
That's a question for, was it Mickey?
Yeah, I think it's Mickey's name.
Yeah, so that's a question for you as well, mate. Let us know in this video, like, if we got relegated, let's say that we didn't just bounce straight back up. Let's say that we did do a Leeds. Let's say it took us years to establish ourselves as a club again and to start looking like we might eventually get back to the Premier League. Would you be happy with that? I know, don't get me wrong, a lot of the hardcore West Ham fans would be happy with that because they go to see West Ham. They don't go to, no matter who we're playing, they'll go whoever, and respect that massively. Fantastic. Wouldn't be so good for people like me who don't live in the country anymore because I wouldn't be able to watch us anymore. But you know, yeah. What? Let us know what you think. That's a good question for everyone else. If you're watching this video, let us know in the comments. What do you think? Would you take a relegation, assuming we're not going to bounce straight back up for a change of owners? I'm quite interested to know what people think about that. What about yourself, mate?
No, not at all, mate. No. I wouldn't take relegation at all. I don't. These owners are poisonous, but you know, Premier League is the bread and butter where you need to be as a football team. But I don't know. It's their ambition for me. It's just like you just want them to show a little bit of ambition, and all this like, oh yeah, but we bought this £27 million winger. That's not real ambition. That's not real ambition. Yeah. So a new thing we're going to add to the show, guys, just for like the last sort of 10 minutes, just for other fans that have been joining us recently from all over the place, different sports, different teams. We're just going to do a little 5-minute sum up of any sports that's been going on and all the Premier League sort of things and what our opinions are. And I thought it was a good time to start. You know, we're 10 games in. All teams have played 10 games. What's your opinions on the Premier League so far, mate?
It's turning into... I know points-wise it's not, but to me it's starting to look like a one-horse race now.
Yeah, Man City, Barcelona.
Yeah, City are frightening at the minute. They're breaking all kinds of records. And they're just incredible to watch at the minute. You know, Kevin De Bruyne, unbelievable right now.
They've got about 4 players on 6 goals.
Oh yeah, you know that's the thing. They had Aguero, their best player. Aguero was out, and then Jesus comes in and bangs in the goals. You know, you've got goals coming in from what's his name, Sane.
Looks amazing as well. Sane.
Yeah, you know you got. Sorry.
Sterling, Sane.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like they've just got such a team, and they're playing beautiful football at the minute. Beautiful football, and we're starting to see Pep bring that philosophy to England. It's great to see. Don't get me wrong, they spent a hell of a lot of money to do it, but it's brilliant to watch.
Fantastic.
I think they'll walk the league this year. I said it the other week as well. You know, it shows the difference. The likes of Man United are obviously really close behind them, but if Man United lose Lukaku, they're done. They've
until Ibra comes back, they're done. Other teams impressing me, mate. Obviously, Watford. Sort of mentioned them a little bit earlier, didn't we? Watford have been really, really good. They look a really good team. Lots of fight in them. Teams like Newcastle have done really, really well. But obviously, there's teams as well that are a bit suspect, mate. Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, all don't look great this year.
Chelsea really disappointed me this year. I backed Chelsea to win the league again, and they're really letting me down.
I know when we see their defending last night, it was awful in the Champions League.
I mean, I don't know what's gone on because they've still got the same kind of team. I mean, Morata hasn't really set the world on fire.
He's not Diego. He's not.
No, Batshuayi is hot and cold. He's not really doing it either. You know, Hazard hasn't really been scoring the goals that he would normally be scoring. So yeah, I don't know. They don't look. They look well off the pace. Liverpool obviously struggling this year as well.
Got problems. And obviously a few other things, mate. Just to mention, obviously Everton. Again, not great, having a sort of West Ham season, really.
Well, they're having I don't know about not great, they're having a disaster.
Yeah.
Considering, you know, where their ambitions would have been at the start of this season. And like you say, really didn't spend that Lukaku money well at all. Terrible season.
Yeah. This is going to be a new little thing that we add in, sort of a 5 to 10 minute sum up of the Premier League. I'll tell you one, mate, here's one. 10 games in. Who is your pick for player of the season 10 games in?
De Bruyne.
I think I mentioned his name already, mate. Yeah,
De Bruyne. Yeah,
he's unbelievable player, unbelievable footballer. A couple of things in the sports news I'd like to mention in this new sort of setup that we've got now. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton, congratulations to him. Now the record British titles for him in Grand Prix, and obviously Anthony Joshua winning as well. Not looking great, Anthony Joshua, though, I have to say, in that match after breaking his nose.
Yeah, I don't know if I wouldn't say he didn't look great. I thought he looked all right. I thought he looked fine. I'll tell you what, though.
I thought he looked too heavy.
The guy... I forgot his bleeding name. What was his name?
Tackham, was it? Something like that?
Tackham. He took his shots really well. Yeah. Really, really well. I haven't seen anyone take a shot from Joshua as well as he did. A lot of things about it was an early premature stoppage. I don't think it was. There's two sides to it, really. I was talking about this in work the other day, actually. First of all, like the guy had lost the fight. There was no way he was going to win the fight. The fight was over. You know, Joshua had started putting the pressure on. I think he probably would have knocked him out. But also there's the whole politics of boxing. Boxing is the most corrupt sport in the world. It is. I'm sorry. And I really have to stop myself from swearing when I talk about this man, but Eddie Earn.
My mate, my dad.
Yeah, Eddie Earn. Oh man! But the thing is as well, it's all a marketing thing as well. So if they want to take Joshua over to America, their best chance of breaking him is if they can take him over with a perfect record, 20 fights, 20 knockouts. You know, if he has that blip on his record and he didn't knock out someone who came in at 2 weeks' notice, he's going to be a bit more difficult to market. Do you know what I mean?
That's it, yeah.
It's not as easy to get him them big fights. So I think that had a bit to play as well. But no, brilliant to see him keep that perfect record. I was pleased he kept it.
Fantastic fight. That's about it for the sports news, guys. If you like this new sports thing, if there's other little sports that you'd like us to sort of add little blips in at the end, it's only going to be a 10-minute bit at the end just to get some more, some more news to you guys, because we're not just West Ham fans, we're big boxing fans. I really like basketball as well, a big snooker fan as well and stuff like that. So if there's any other sports that you'd like us to have just even like a little 1 minute talk about, let us know. Get involved in the competition, guys. Check out Knees Up Mother Brand, check out West Ham Fan Zone. Subscribers are grand lovely, the views are grand lovely, love all the comments, love hearing all what you've got to say, guys, so get them in. Until then, guys, I really hope I'm bringing you a win video for the Liverpool game. I don't think I will be. But let's hope. Let's keep believing. If you can, come on your irons. Let's go.
Cheers.